While we wait for everyone to join, I wanted to start a warm up with what we did last week. So I have sent multiple pictures. So just choose any one picture and try to illustrate one of the eyes or nose and mouth. But I think some of you have not done the nose and mouth, right? Did we? Did anyone do the nose? We did a nose.
Yes,
Okay, fine.
yes,
So just
we
pick
did notice.
another, yeah, so just pick one that you've not done and try to illustrate that just to warm up your hand and eye. Okay, here's some of my practice. So whenever you're practicing this, I'll show you in our book. Avoid making firm lines and try to sketch out first. So try to make uh, lines like these, loose, sketchy lines. More than the final version, being able to see shapes and distances, shades, and blocking them like this is more important. This is the hard task. When we draw a firm line, it's too risky. You don't know whether that's the right line that you're drawing. So try to make a very nice sketchy depiction of whatever you're drawing. So this is 90% of the work done, and you can make all sorts of adjustments to this when you have to make it dark. And sometimes you don't even have to make it dark. Just this practice is enough. You see this? just very sketchy. So today I want to do two things. First, I'm going to share some images of just as a warm-up exercise. These are side profiles of pictures of people. Let me just share this with you. Let me share screen. So for today's practice, I want you to try to sketch this face with a very loose line. And I'm going to demonstrate first so you know how it looks. So this is the face. Oh, this should be more faces. I'll add some more. 1 second. I don't know why they're not being added. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, so do you want to first observe how I'm doing this? And then you can do it yourself also. Just have a look. So normally what we do is we hold the pencil very close by and we would start making a line like this. Okay, so I want you to avoid doing that. I want you to make large shapes first and see large shapes. And then through that, start breaking it down. So it's almost as if you were given a whole chunk of marble, for example. You would sculpt it down to just the required size, and then you would chisel away unnecessary parts. We have to look at it somewhat like that. So again, let me show you the picture that I have. If you have a second device, hold the picture. Try to see the picture while I'm sketching. That way you can follow the lines better. So first and foremost, sit in such a way that you can see your reference image and this image, the image that you're drawing, on the same plane. Don't keep your book down and then look up to a device that is at 90 degrees to your side. So try and keep them the same plane. If you have a phone, you can keep your phone next to you and look at the phone and your drawing, it's still in the same plane. Okay, so I'm going to try this. I'm tilting it slightly so that I can see the picture on my screen. Go with the easiest form you see. We see a circle at the back of our head, and we see that hair being tied up in a certain silhouette. So I'm just following the silhouette. Then you have this hair. This starts giving us a guideline. And we have to get the line right. Now look at where I'm holding the pencil. Don't let your brain tell you too much. Now, if you notice that the bun and her chin are almost in the same line, whereas if you start thinking about this too much, there's a chance that you'll make the chin over here. It's not here. Look at the angle made from her chin to her forehead, and the nose will then come ahead at some point in a particular angle. And the lips would also come at a particular angle. So we're just looking at shapes here. Right in the middle of the circle will be her ear. And then you have the hair. It is very important to be able to draw these shapes, because only through this now I can sculpt her face out. So I'm just looking at the shape made by her forehead. Eyes would be very foreshortened. A shape for her lashes. Nose comes in. It's pretty delicate. So the first nose I'd made was almost like a barbarian nose. So I have trimmed that down, adding a few shadows as I go so that I get a clearer perception of space. Now here is just the shape of her mouth. And her mouth and chin is ending just by the chin. Keep the appropriate highlights. Dip in for the chin. So if you don't look at it as a sideways looking face, you'll be able to make it. If you start doing that thinking, then you will be trying to make a face so hard that you might make mistakes. So just look at the shapes, proportions, placement of the different items, shadows, highlights, texture, and only in the form of shapes. Okay, do you want to give it a shot now? Now, if you don't move your hand very smoothly, you might not get the right shape. So hold your pencil further than you normally do. And as you fill up space, you'll notice that some adjustments will be required. Like now, the neck, her neck has, chin has come here. So my hair, which is down here, will change to up here. You have to be willing to make those changes. So you're constantly seeing, looking at your picture, evaluating constantly. And every step, your at every step, your actions can be changed. Space, um, position, placement of your objects can be constantly evaluated. And do not erase the lines that you think are wrong in this kind of sketch, because see, this way now I can evaluate how I had started off the picture and how my picture has changed. So, Richa and Anushri, how are you doing? This could be a little intimidating. So, if you have any issues, tell me right away. I will solve them for you.
I'm still struggling with the shading bit.
Yes, yes,
I
same here.
still don't know how to go about that.
All right. Fair enough. Just could you show me what you've done so far and let me just help you out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pin your image. So I want to see the, yeah. All right. So with the, so right now I can see that you have got one light line and one dark line. So what we need
Yeah.
is a range of shades. Some lines are light, some lines are dark. And what you've done is pretty much what I told you. This is how we normally start a picture. We will make one line, but you don't know how to make that line may not be the right shape or the right size. So what I want you to do is, if you can zoom in to the section that you are sketching and just look at certain parts, that will give you a cue. Let me just show this to you. I'll demonstrate this. So what you've drawn is perfectly okay in a different proportion, or the placement is wrong. So you've got the shape of the eye, you've got the shape of the nose. It's just a shape with respect to other shapes that we want to get right. So it's like Lego blocks or just fitting it right. So what you should be looking at are simple things like, what is this angle? What is this size? What is this shape? How far do I have to draw this? That's about it. Now, here it's become very complicated. But even just look at this from the tip of the chin to the forehead. What is this angle? And from here, at say 1/3, you have the eyes, and a little above 2/3, you have the nose, and a little below 2/3, you have the mouth. Now, this is something that I just look at a picture and decide these are the proportions that I can see in the photograph. Now, it's easy for me to draw this on screen right now for you to see, but for you, you can always use your pencil or your finger to put it against the picture that you're seeing and try and figure out these dimensions. Now, again, over here, the ear is almost at a parallel angle at the same spot where you have the space between the eye and the nose. And then if you were to check the distance from the back of the head to the ear and the front of the ear to the nose, this is about the same. If I were to draw a circle, this is how the circle fits. And if I were to make half and half of the circle itself, these are my reference points. Okay, then but these are not always the same. These are things that we can identify and we can build. You can build any kind of guideline that you want for your illustration. Got it? So I'm going to share this picture with these reference points. And now let's see if it makes any difference. Oh. Oh, no. How do I do this? Launch of forearm. Sorry, I was pressing the wrong button. Okay, so I'll share this with you. And now with the help of those reference images and those basic shapes, you can try one more time. But in this case, again, make it a very fluid action. So I'll show you one more time. This time round, we will have the sizing. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, now we won't make it too big. Again, over here, it's going to be small. Oh, very nice, Elaine. Looking good. So
Now
again,
can I use my eraser a little?
no, why? Now
No,
make
the
another one.
neck is, oh dear. Okay.
It's okay. I'm going to share one more image. Wait.
Aditi, mine was looking like an old lady. I don't know.
That's okay.
At least looking like a lady, na Nita.
Like a lady.
Bas.
Okay, exactly.
I don't know. The shape is like
Yeah, let's evaluate. That's exactly what we are trying to do. One second. Just let me share a couple of more faces. This one has got an even more crazy neck. She almost looks serpentine. One of them does. Okay, now you want to try these two? And for Anushri and for Richa, I will just show them how to work with basic shapes. And you can do the same as well. Huh? We can make the same portrait, this time working off of the basic shapes. So let's start with a circle, the red circle, then make the pink vertical and horizontal lines. And just work visually over here. Now, I don't know whether this is a 1/4, 1/3 of the way up, about 1/3 of the way up and down is the ear. And much of this has to be done visually. Somewhere from here, you have face coming down. This is the chin. Okay, Anushri, are you seeing this? Can you see the two together?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richa,
Yeah.
how about you? I haven't seen your picture, but I'm assuming you will have similar problems.
Yes, ma'am. I've erased it also.
Oh,
It's too
that
horrible to show.
you should not erase it. That now I can't even see. Anyway, now this one don't erase, however
Yeah,
bad it is. Even if your face looks like a monkey,
yes.
we still have a monkey. We can still figure out what else we can do differently. It's all about getting the distances right, shapes right, placement right. And we must make it deliberately very sketchy. After your basic shape is done, so normally what goes wrong, let me just try and do this for you and show you. So you will see this a certain way, and you might make a certain shape. And then your brain will tell you something. So you'll make a shape like that. And then because we see a shadow over here, we make the shape much bigger than it should be. And it could be much, I mean, just a millimeter or so bigger. This is where things go wrong. What also we don't attend to is this, there's a little subtle cheekbone that is hiding her little bit of her nose. Now, if I were to correct this again without an eraser, the eyebrow is actually pointing up, not down. So this is point 1. Then with respect to the eyebrow, this is the shape of the eye. We haven't done a sideways looking eye, so it's you're bound to find it a little odd. But if you just see the shape, it's a triangular shape. This is the shadow, this is the lid, and then you have the eye, and then you have the lashes, which themselves also make a triangular shape over here. Then the forehead is not over here as much as over here because of the angle at which we are seeing her face. Then this angle seems fine whenever you see it. And then from here, the nose actually goes at a steeper angle outward, and the proportion is slightly higher. Now, I'm not saying that this is what you have done, but this is how you can correct it with even the drawing made, I mean, the initial lines being inaccurate. But if you erase it, you are bound to make the same thing again and again and again. Now, this is how I will color up the upper lid. And then the lower, lip. The lower lip is just in a smaller space. And there's a highlight underneath the lip. The chin is somewhere here. And it does not look big because it has its own bone. The shadow made over here would make it look the right size. And then these are important. You have color of the nose, highlight over here on the cheekbone and the cheek. So I hope you noticed how the whole face did transform despite my proportions being pretty off. But the correction of the lines is possible without erasing heavily. But again, you have to draw it quite light. Okay. Now in this case, again, here, check the proportion. Keep going back and forth between the image with the markings and the image without these guidelines.
Aditi, can you take a look at mine?
Yeah. Okay. Hold it a little further. I can't see the sharp lines. Okay, very, very good. 1 second. Let me just see the reference image and do it.
The distance, I think.
Overall, I think it's very nice. Shape of the nose is a little funny because we are drawing the face in an unnatural direction for our hand.
Yeah.
The same face, if it was left facing, you would have got the nose shape a little better. So now this is a great first side profile. Let me look for another profile. Oh, there is another one that I've shared. The crazy haired lady. Try that one and see if that looks any different. Okay, see this one? Yeah, Amulya, you can keep it down. So with this one, make different kinds of guidelines. Again, chin to, forehead to chin. What is the line? At what point do we have the eyes? Usually 1/3. And 1/3 over here. You will have the ear somewhere here. What is this angle for the hair? That's the chin. So, if you break it up like that, it's quite nice. It's almost like a right angle triangle.
I really like this profile. That's the one I'm doing now.
Isn't it? It's so
Like her face, she's so
Yeah.
strong and such a out there hairdo,
Yeah.
Okay. One of those flapper period women, no? You can see by
Yeah.
the dress.
Right. And even the hair.
Lovely. And such a strong nose. June.
I'll add that picture here.
Don't know how to do a hair. I'll show you what I've done. So her hair is like to give the impression of a curly, fuzzy. I've done something, but you'll see it's not extremely good. Just show it.
Here I can show you my portions are going a little off. My nose has become a little longer, and this would be a point where I would be tempted to erase. But you can make the adjustment from the bottom as well. Now notice how the shapes you see in the eyes are going to be different. The pupil is going to be like an oval shape. Zoom into the picture if you need to. And as far as the hair is concerned, there's lots of ways we can do hair. So right now, if you want, you can just make a silhouette of the shape of her hair. That's also sufficient.
Ma'am, can I show the earlier lady to you? I
Yes, yes, can I see?
attempted.
Yeah. Oh, very nice, Richa. This is good. So, you know what's happened? The nose is hanging down too much.
Right.
So it just needs to be a slightly straighter line instead of going down. So it should not go down like that. It's a straighter, cuter line like that. See if you can make that adjustment. Make this line and then you can erase the previous line. We've got the proportions pretty good.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've put mine on the group,
Okay, let's see.
Aditi, but the distance of the eye to the nose, I took this because it's more difficult for me, this side profile.
Okay.
But the distance between the eye and my nose is too close, and she's looking much older.
No, okay.
You
So,
know,
no, the distance I think is right. It's the angle that is a little off. I think it's gone a little, like a couple of degrees outside, more outside than it should be.
should be no, but the eye is so close to my nose. See that you have much more distance.
Yeah,
See
that is true.
that
So,
makes
no,
her
no,
looking
it's still
older.
not so much, but yeah, I get what you mean. Yes.
Now I can see it, no, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at your sketch, and I like the way you've done her hair. I think that is just nice to leave it like that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good
So
idea.
now we can translate this into a cute abstract illustration. These are super exercises
How
for.
super.
So now, if you have place right next to her, you can just make a rectangle. And remember, her face is quite wide. So you have to make it pretty tiny. Then we're going to make this triangular hair. So what we'll do now is just make a light vertical line at, remember how we done this 2/3, 1/3 and 2/3 and triangle, just exactly like how our illustration was broken up, our reference image was broken up. But this time I'm just keeping the line straight instead of keeping it at an angle. Now first we'll draw a nose, which is just an L shape with a round like that. Get a dip and then draw a forehead that is straight. A little inside the nose line, you'll come down to create the lips, the space between the nose and the lips. And at this point, you can make the lips like this. You have a shape that comes downward. We often think of lips as going sideways, but they actually come downwards. And then a little inside from that lip, you will draw the lower lip, which is also a little inward and not, we often think of lips as being like this, but they're not like that as much as skewed at an angle and then like this. And this can change depending upon your shape or even where the face is tilted. Okay. Now, again, this is like going step by step inside, and then you make your chin. And then you get your neck. Oh, sorry, not from here, but maybe a little inside. So it has to be a very narrow neck we're trying to make, an exaggerated narrow neck. Ignore this line. I'm going to erase it in case anybody mistakes it for something else. And then from here, you can make the shoulders come downward. And then we can draw same kind of neckline. If you have space, if you don't have space, don't bother drawing. And pretty much the same shape that we've drawn over here. Take this chin up. And for the eye, on this line, you will make just a V shape. And lashes. And just for drama, you'll extend that eye up a little bit and make a very dramatic eyebrow shape going into the hair. And you can keep it blank, which we can fill up with the color of the eye. Now, remove this line. In fact, even remove this line. Remove all our markers. And now we can start making it more abstract. So you can put a nice large red dot over here. And put some earrings, or just maybe, yeah, you could put something like this. And now in the backdrop, we can make some interesting patterns. Like, how about making one of those William Morris kind of patterns? Just draw a vine with leaves. Something like that. So we are going to paint the background differently.
Aditi,
Yeah.
there was once you had taught us, I think it was called, I don't remember. It was a kind of a very art deco kind of, many different panes of glass kind of, with different colors. Like a stained glass background.
Was it?
Remember?
Okay. No?
Some 2 years ago, we had done this lovely pattern of very abstract squares, which we then watercolored with different shades.
Okay, let me.
Like an art deco thing.
Was it in the Tuesday batch? Then
It was Tuesday batch. Well, I've only ever done Tuesday batch. There was that,
exactly.
one of those. So I'm going to do the background like that for.
Okay, yeah, why not?
Very art deco she is.
Yeah, she is, that's for sure. Were you able to do this, Richa and Anushri? I'm extremely concerned about the two of you because this is not the deep end of the pool. This is the ocean. So you've joined in third class and I've just thrown you in the Pacific saying, now I'll teach you how to swim in this. And don't worry, you'll be fine. You will be fine, but it can really take a toll. So yeah, just breathe through this month. Next month is going to be a complete contrast. We're going to do native arts and native patterns and all, which are usually quite easy and they're more rudimentary in shape and in color. So you don't have to worry too much.
Ma'am, I'm not able to get the lady's chin right.
Okay, let me just come and have a one second. Okay, can I see? One minute, let me pin it. Okay. All right. So it's not just the chin. I think what's happened over here is the nose has gone up slightly. Has it? Can I just see it? Yeah. Okay, so the nose has gone up and for some reason you've made a nostril there. Don't make a nostril. Is this this image or this one? First one?
The first one.
All right. So her nostril, is it so large? Let me see. So the shape of the nose comes downward first, not go up. And then the nostril is not as pronounced. So this is how her shape would be. It's round over here and then it goes down instead of up. And just above this, you have a very shallow teardrop shape. And then you have the outer nostril. Okay, that's one. Second is look at the lip coming outward. It doesn't come too far out, but it also goes down and out inside. Okay, and then if you look at where her nose ends, just a little further is where the mouth will go. Somewhat like this, or maybe even thinner. And then you have this lip coming from below. And then you have a line going inside a little bit. And then you have the chin here. So if you've drawn the chin and it's looking wrong, it's probably drawn a little further in front because all these shapes are not managed.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Diti, I'd like to show mine as well.
Yes. Okay. Okay, this is a lot better than your first one, I think. You've got the nose, mouth, chin part really nice. The eye is a problem, but don't let that disturb you too much. Drawing eyes and side profile are a little tough. But if you just cover this part, I think you've got the bottom part much better than I saw you struggling with this face. It's not that bad. Were you able to make the abstract face?
Not yet.
Okay, okay. So do you want to try?
And for the
Yeah.
and for the first one as well, I was trying to do with the circle profile thing,
Uh,
but my chin is going way ahead, so I don't know where I goofed up in this.
you've not goofed up. So those lines are the guidelines
Okay.
because the chin does protrude quite a bit, but it protrudes with respect to other shapes over there. So check those out as well. Now, if I make the mouth here and then here, even mine is protruding out quite a bit. It will look fine if we shade. So till you shade it, it might look like you're doing something wrong. That's why I said the objective observation of your top subject is very important, where you don't get swayed by what you think is right, but what you can see is exactly what it is. Okay, so if you've got this angle right, which I think you have, if you've made these lines that you have a circle, then you've made a line at half and half, then I think just go with this shape and continue sketching. Don't give up as yet.
Aditi, I have done the other lady. Can
Yeah.
you just see the one with the tilted neck?
Yeah, with that snake neck.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I have
It's
no
a
idea.
girl only, but
Okay, looking nice. It just, yeah, her thing is odd. Yeah.
what's odd, Aditi?
No, her shape, the girl, the model herself is a very odd shape.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
All right, shall we start painting this? Now, when you're making an abstract illustration like that and painting it, decide on the colors beforehand and you can change all the colors. So you can keep some parts white also to make everything else look starkly um, contrasting against the face. So whatever you do though, backgrounds need to come first, and the lighter colors will come first, light to dark. So I'm going to use a color combination of yellow, definitely red, blue, and yellow. I don't know if there's going to be any skin tone or not. So I want to experiment with, maybe I can also do a green. The green backdrop, just a wash. I'm using some ready green that I have in my palette. It's going to be fairly light. And I'm just staining the paper. Sometimes the background color or the tone of the background color can make the whites in the painting also look a certain type. So if I use reds and yellows and even green, the skin on the lady is going to look a little warm. Just remember, whatever you do not go back and forth. Don't do this. Just put down your brush and drag it. I'm going to make her dress yellow. Maybe this piece of jewelry yellow as well. Now, if some of the green in the backdrop is not dried, it's going to run as soon as they touch each other, the red and the green. And it might just look good in watercolor. You shouldn't be scared of watercolor running into each other. Then if you are, then you should try painting in acrylic, because there's so much joy in watercolor mixing organically. And those accidents are really nice. Just to keep it more dramatic, I will also do something like this. Pull in the red into her eyebrows. And her lipstick. So here's an interesting example of how you can convert a dramatic picture like that to something simplified but equally dramatic. So like I said, that very often in art, it's not about actual translation of the object, because that is, over time, that's going to be very easily done. But what you should try to do is reinterpret that into something of your own. And it cannot be ordinary. It cannot be mundane, and it cannot be something that you've seen before. If you've seen it before, then obviously somebody has done it before you. Don't do the same thing again. Do something different, change something, and be ready for a shock. So while in this picture, the central image seems to be that of a woman, the focus of the image is anything but the woman. You have a very busy backdrop, you have that ridiculously opulent dot on her cheek, which means God knows what. It almost stands for the garish makeup they used to do in the 20s. They did have these large spots of rouge on the cheeks, at least through historic pictures you can see. But we've not painted the girl at all. We've painted everything around her.
I like this translating it into abstract. Gives
Hmm.
you a lot of freedom with this because it doesn't really have to look exactly. It should have some notion of the person, of course,
Hmm.
but it's still very nice, very simplified, and still so attractive.
Yeah. Her lipstick is still wet. Now, at this point, we should also learn to stop because there is always in the beginning a point where you feel, oh, this is looking so nice, but maybe I should do something more. So, the options that are, let me just enumerate the options. One is you feel, let me do something in her hair because it is attracting so much attention. Fine, even I think about that, but don't do it immediately. Second is, now that I have painted everything else, now I regret not painting the skin. I want to paint the skin. So don't do anything because it's such a odd shape now that you're going to ruin everything else. Then the print in the background is nice, but it's just two colors. Let me add more color. The worst thing you could do is, after deciding on a color scheme, to add more color, because then we are going to make it like Uttar Pradesh design. We do not want to make it like that. So at any point after completing your initial design idea, if you feel that something is insufficient, wait an entire day before identifying what and where and whether it's necessary. Okay, this is, I think, the biggest problem. And I have seen this so many times and I tried really hard to figure out why it happens the way it happens. Everyone says, Arey, till this point it was so nice, and then I don't know what came over me, and I decided to do a pattern in her hair, or I decided to do her skin, and then everything spoiled. And then once you make that decision, you start painting, even if you know you're going to regret it, you follow through, and then it's just a sad, sad, sad painting. So
Yeah, mine is an Uttar Pradesh wala, and I started doing something which I stopped because it was horrendous. It's on the group, you'll see it. I
No.
shouldn't have put black lines, but then I'm not going to put them anymore. I'll do this again because.
So that was another thing I was going to say.
Huh.
And that might not be so bad, but again, depends on how much area you have covered and how much remains to be covered. So a black outline on the entire silhouette of the person might not be such a bad idea, because right now, at least in my case, she's a little lost in the pattern. So I could enhance that by just making a black line, but I'm going to wait for everything to dry. And ideally, I should wait tomorrow to take that call. Okay, so Elaine, now in your case,
What shouldn't I have done?
no, now that you have made those few black lines between your
I
stained glass,
know.
I would
Not that.
suggest, no, I would suggest complete it, make it on all. Don't leave them half done.
I know. I just gave it up as a bad joke. Actually, I said forget it. It's just ruined now.
No,
I'm
no,
going to
it's
try-
not. It's not ruined yet.
Oh dear.
It will still ruin it even more. But the black lines will not ruin it. I don't think they will.
It's looking nice, right?
No, so in this case, you know, what has happened is your pattern. I would have recommended that you make a pattern that goes through in some way. As in, if you have a line going over here, let
Yeah.
it continue over here,
Ah, I
than
see
breaking
this.
it. And what that has done is, it's not wrong, but it has created another, it has broken up the perspective in the background
Yeah.
a little differently than it should have. This was not what is.
Don't worry. You don't need to mince your words.
No, no,
Differently.
no. No, I'm not mincing. So I want to be very clear that it's not what you've done is not wrong, but it is serving a purpose that you don't require of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
all. So we cannot reject it. At some point, when you want skewed perspectives in the background or anywhere, you know how these lines can be used. So don't discard the idea. I find it very sad that I'm, in my case as well, I must have come across or just accidentally created something unexpected, and I didn't like it at that time and I threw it out. And later on, when I wanted that, I couldn't remember how I'd done it. It's a mental exercise. So when evaluating, you have to stop yourself from saying, this is wrong.
It's not wrong, but it's not attractive to me. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
but break,
appealing.
yeah, break it up. But if it's not appealing, what is it? Because here's the opportunity. You've accidentally landed up on an alien planet. You might as well study that planet and then go back to whichever planet you want to go to. So figure out what these colors are doing. And it's a simple thing. You can just apply some words to it. It's looking a little too chatak. You would have like
Yes, it's
muted.
overbearing. It's overbearing the face that was
Correct.
supposed to stand out. Now it's all about the background.
Yeah. So that's good. So then next time when you know you want the background to stand out, you can have these shapes and these very colors, maybe all bright, maybe contrasting, complementary colors. That will work. It'll distract from what you've done.
Also, I will sit and study some Art Deco patterns. If I want Art Deco, then let me know what it is, na, instead of doing rubbish.
Yeah. Art Deco also would have been very geometric. So what you
Yes.
have right now, if you just done one of those doodle patterns where you just do vertical lines
Yeah.
with
Yes.
V-shaped back
Right.
leaves or something, that would have still been Art Deco.
Yep. No, I'll make another
Okay.
face and background.
Okay. Tanushri, this I really like this. It's a good, very brave effort, and I think it's turning out nice. Um, your hand just needs adequate practice. So try some. You were there with when we did that pencil yoga? No, okay. So what I'll have you do is just make a bunch of lines on like a folded newspaper. You just need to make lots of vertical lines coming down and going up, horizontal lines going sideways from both sides, diagonals and circles. And do this on a newspaper. But the catch over here is that you sit in front of the newspaper, like I've kept my book, the newspaper or the paper does not move. It's only your hand moves. And you don't do this kind of adjustment when you have to make an uncomfortable line. You sit like this, but you move your wrist. So over here, your wrist will move like this, but over here it will look like this, and here it will look even worse. So the line quality is not important. What I want you to do is develop a very flexible hand so that you can draw lines in various directions and very freely. Currently, our hand is only used to holding the pencil like that and making short lines. So there's no flexibility. And the moment I ask you to make a big line, you will take your hand and draw the line like that. So that means your entire arm is engaged. And when you have so many pieces engaged, the line becomes very heavy or there's too many errors. So you just need to be able to do this very freely. And then you should be able to also do this whole drawing and sketching much more freely. That's the only thing that is happening right now. The muscles are restricted. Okay, so 5-10 minute exercise, just lots of lines, lots of scribbles, and you should be fine. We are going to now make an outline with thick pen. Yes, I have a point 4 here. And I'm just going to go around this shape. And again, not just the shape of the face, the hair. Now, the other things that can also be done is this particular line could have been done also with a gold pen, thick gold pen. That is also very Art Deco. There, now she's standing out. Okay, any questions?
Aditi, can you zoom in on the eye of the abstract one, please?
Yeah. It's just a V shape.
Yeah. Makes it look much daintier.
So next week we have our 4th class of for portrait, and then we have one extra week this week. So then that week will be an off, 30th of May. I have a project that I have to complete before the first week of June. So I'm just going to take that time and finish off that project in the 4 days of the extra week.
Maybe we can, in our next class, do the animated thingies or abstract, so it's not too difficult for people. What were you planning on this? Is this the 4th one? No, one more, right?
One more. So there is another portrait practice that we do, which I don't want to disclose right now. We're going to do a little bit of that. But what was the
Sorry, what did
animation thing you wanted to do?
What did you say? What did you say it's going to be? It just blanked out then. What did you say?
Did not say. I don't want to reveal what it is because
Oh,
so I'll show you next week what it's gonna be. But that's gonna just take 15-20 minutes. But what was the animation thing you were saying?
no, something right along the lines that we did today, abstract, making caricatures, remember?
Yes. Yeah, we can do that. Caricatures should be good.
Yeah.
We can try those. And that's actually a very nice way of practicing facial features.
Another thing, Aditi, we could really practice, that those lines that you make for if somebody is looking up or down or where the forehead is and, how you angle the face to just those outlines, those in
Yeah.
the oval. So once you do that, you know exactly where to put the eyes if they're looking down, if the head is tilted down or to the side. So we could just do outlines, so that by the end of it, at least we know which way we are looking and where the eye would be, sideways or
Okay. Yeah.
that really helps because any angle is not difficult.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
So, Aditi, this is a very funny question, but I just wanted to ask, that the face, how do you get the softness for the face? Because, I have done this lady with the red orange hair, but, her face is looking very stern. So, how does, get that softness, or maybe it's the lines that that I draw.
Can you share the image?
Yeah.
No, this is Amulya.
No, I'll share mine 1 minute. I mean, it's not come out very nice, but oh, I feel that, she's looking very wicked.
She's scowling actually.
Yeah, so I mean,
It's all the lines. So it's all of the
what is that going wrong? I mean, where am I going wrong when?
Yeah, let me show you. So this is pretty much like what was happening in the case of, I think, was it Anushri or Richa? So Richa. So here the line of the nose has gone up. It's only when you are scowling or expressing disgust, what does your nose go up? So this needs to come down.
Okay.
Then the mouth is never in one line. You have the upper lip and then you have the lower lip. It's almost like steps.
Okay.
And then again, the chin goes inside. So this proportion is the relaxed face.
Okay.
When you are scowling or you want to express disgust, your chin comes forward, which is what's happening here. So if the chin had been somewhere here, it would have been relaxed. So it's all placement. It's all placement.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, now I'll pay more attention to that.
Yeah.
Because I was just kind of trying to get the proper chin, and so I was not looking at it as a whole.
Yeah. If you break it up, you'll see that your shapes are pretty okay, except that the nose is, it's, if this is the shape of the nose, it should be pointing lower, and it's pointing higher. The shape in itself is fine.
Okay,
so remember what we did in last class, I gave you a bunch of words.
Yes.
So everything, your solution is over there. Is it the size? Is it the shape? At what angle have you drawn it? What placement have you kept it? How is the proportion with the previous parts that you've drawn? It's all the answers will be over there. These are the questions to ask.
Okay, I shall go through them again. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Okay, so then shall we end the session for today? See you then. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.